Hello everyone and welcome to the East region of EGFH Season 3 for Overwatch. Today we have a best of 4 match between the Grove Hawks and the Powell Panthers. I of course want to thank our wonderful sponsors, the Yukon Gaming Club, the Yukon School of Engineering, Mob Crush, and I'd like to give a warm welcome to our newest sponsor, Player Maker Wanted, for making this season possible. My name is Kevin Navik Dignan and today I'm joined by Gorka.
Hello, how are you doing? It's a beautiful day, isn't it, for some Overwatch. This week, we're going to start with Escort, then go to Control, Assault, and then Hybrid. If the scoreline is tied after the maps, we will be having a tiebreaker on Escort. This week, the map order is Junkertown, Busan, Volskaya Industry, Numbani, and then the tiebreaker will be on Rialto. Even though the patch went live and Baptiste isn't live in the game, he isn't live yet in competitive play, therefore he won't be available in EGFH either.
Yeah, and hopefully we should be getting into these games quite quickly as well.
We got two close-up teams in the standings. The Powell Panthers with, and Grove School Hawks. Both of them. The Powell are at 6 points right now, 5th in the league, while the Grove School Hawks are number 6 with 3 points. Their win and loss ratios are kind of similar, despite the difference.
Hopefully should be a much closer match than I believe the Hawks were playing last week and went 0-4. So hopefully this week it'll be slightly better matchup for them, a bit closer. We'll see a bit more back and forth. Excited to see what team compositions we see coming out of them as well.
Exactly, yeah. Especially since in EGFH, since a lot of these teams are a little bit high school level, a lot of the team comps typically tend to play around single players and like really strong players that they have. Like one guy who's really strong, and the rest of the team can just play off of that guy, which can work very well. And I believe that the Grove School Hawks do actually have a GM on Grandmaster on their team, so if they can bring out his skills and just play around him, that would be very nice. We'll give them a good shot. Take their second win.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be good for them. And then, of course, on the side, my brain has just stopped working for a second. That we're on
the red side.
Yeah, on the red side here, coming out on the Panthers, we are going to see them running a Roadhog. We do see Bastion and Widowmaker as their DPS as well, along with their Orisa. So
exactly, yeah, seems like they'll also be doing an El Presidente on the cart. The cart is very close to spawn, so they will definitely have a good chance. And I find that on Junkertown, a lot of the time, the offensive team has an easier time pushing the cart at the very beginning, at least, because most teams do set up in like kind of the second overpass on the first, as we see here with the Grove School Hawks right here. Setting up with Reinhardt and a Junkrat, although Junkrat's actually moving a bit more. Junkrat's setting up a trap over here below the first overpass.
Yeah, and again, like you were saying, we should be seeing them going for a pirate ship here with the Orisa. Orisa using that CC reduction there, trying to get some damage reduction, making sure they're not getting sniped immediately. As we see Sketch just diving in, managing to find Raptor by himself, along with Briven finding Ra there. Sketch getting Jackstar as well, so both supports getting taken down by Lucio at the moment. The Panthers are just going off.
Exactly, yeah. We see that the Panthers were doing very well, actually, right there. We have Foxy just jumping right onto the cart, just doing a lot of damage. And we saw that I Need Healing actually doing an absolutely amazing job just doing damage along with Driven. Very nice play from the Panthers right here. They were right over. They were right there, just focusing on getting individual picks with each character and just taking full control of the point right there. Very well done. And we're seeing them push and get to the first point with the payload. Very nicely done.
Yeah, Sketch being absolutely incredible in these situations as well. He practically single-handedly forced all of them back and just intimidated them all not to jump through the window there on Lucio, of all characters, playing extremely aggressively, using that mobility to avoid a lot of the damage coming out from their hit scan and just general projectiles, and just poking them out whilst the rest of the team sits on the payload. The hook coming out hits Ra, that does fall here. Briven getting 2 headshots, Jackstar and Raptor both falling. So you got the Widowmaker in the background. just poking it out. You got the Bastion on point, raining down bullets, and you got Sketch playing so aggressively that he's behind the enemy team.
Yeah, that is a very interesting strategy that the Panthers are playing right now. Sketch, despite playing, he's obviously Lucio, traditionally focused on healing and support. But what he's actually playing as is he's using his speed boost to just harass and distract the Hawks. And while they're distracted, Driven can just pick away at the supports of the Hawks along with I Need Healing. Very interesting strategy that's working insanely effectively for the Panthers, and honestly, I'm loving it. It's really cool, a very unique way to use Lucio's abilities that I've never really seen before. It's very nicely done.
Well, on the topic of never seeing something like that before, if we herald back to the olden days of Overwatch when we had the legendary player DPS Stanky, he played a very similar Lucio to this, and as they try and come in here, the Valkyrie from Jackstar does manage to get the red onto Quippo mode here, so Quippo's going to be trying to get some damage with a Supercharger coming down from Pizza Time is going to say that the Pizza is here because that Bastion is dishing out so much damage. And like I was saying, yeah, DPS Stanky played a Lucio pretty much exactly the same as Sketch is playing it right now. I'm wondering if that's what inspired that kind of playstyle. The whole hog coming out from I Need Healing does get hooked by Night Raven, though, so it's going to get countered out as the tank configuration comes out. Sketch right behind the enemy team here, just poking at the Reinhardt. He can't turn around to stop him because he's going to get shot by the tank. Quippo mode on Hanzo, trying to find something here, but of course with the Infrasight coming out and along with Ribbon getting a little bit of poke, Sketch is going to be able to find it. Transcendence coming out from Reaper, going to get hooked, or Raptor there, going to get hooked away. A lot of damage coming out. Again, we hear the Riptide, going to be trying to stop it here. The sound barrier comes out and they're going to be able to get that in record pace.
Yeah, that was very well done by the Panthers. Actually, they were able to split up their team. They set up the Pirate Bastion, which was very good on Junkertown due to the close nature of where the payload starts for the offensive team. There's just right there, it's very easy to set up the Bastion right there with an Orisa especially, who can just redeploy the shield whenever she wants to. And then that with the play from Sketch, who was just focusing on distracting the Reinhardt and the Reinhardts, and also it was a Winston, the Winston Zarya from the Hawks just allowed Driven to just pick away at the sports. Very good coordination on the Panthers. It's a very solid strategy, and definitely a callback to the older days of Overwatch. I did blank my mind on that one strategy there. But hopefully I'm interested to see if they'll pull the same strategy out here. It does seem like they will be, even though they're playing on defense. They have something very similar, and I believe this can work, actually. If we just have Fox Demon just sit back with their Vista Shield and Sketch continuing to distract the Hawks while they're on the payload, this strategy can work, pull double duty and work on both offense and defense. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and that's definitely what could happen in this situation here, especially with Sketch playing so aggressively, like you were saying, right? He's going to be able to just harass them out again and again. Ra on the Tracer here, hoping to deal with it, maybe hoping to get past, get into their backline and do what Sketch is doing so effectively with Lucio.
Yeah, I assume that OG Platypus was actually going to pick Lucio, and I really do think Dive could actually be very effective here because they've identified that Brevin is just tearing through the defenses. So if the Hawks can just stay in a cohesive group and play around Night Raven's shield, right there, they can definitely do a lot of damage. But it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to quite do that here at the start.
Yeah, and those are definitely the expectations that we'd be having currently, but there's going to be pick after pick as hooks coming out from I Need Healing does hit. Sketch falls to Ra there, so that's going to give them a chance here to not be harassed by that Lucio with those sick beats. Going to be able to push the payload out a bit further here, finding a couple picks. I Need Healing also falling, so... And Fox Demon is holding this corner though, right? So as soon as they get to a certain point on the payload here, that sneaky Bastion is going to get people into his line of sight, and the first person to come out into him is going to be OG Platypus. He does fall there. Now the rest of the Hawks are going to realize that, there is a Bastion holding onto that corner, and with Riven right on top of that as well. They're going to be pushing out so much damage, and it's going to be so hard if they don't take the rotation. They need D.Va to kind of just go behind them and try and harass it with the sound matrix, but if they don't go about this, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to be able to clear this out.
Yeah, it's a very clever and odd angle that Fox Team has picked up here with the Orisa Shield, Quip modes, Deflect won't be able to do much damage to take him out. But I will see that maybe Raw's Pulse Bomb could probably be thrown over the shield, though it does seem that Sketches is definitely playing around the other side of the fence, just trying to take attention.
Yeah, and I need healing. Finding Jackstar there. The mech does fall to Priven originally as well, so they're going to be able to clear out the Diva. Quippo mode trying to find something here. We hear a very preemptive Valkyrie coming out from Waterboy there, making sure the healing's coming out. I need healing, finding Night Raven and OG Platypus as well, but Sketch does fall to Raptor. Going to be pretty important again. Sketch is just putting in work.
Yeah, he is just getting kills as Lucio is already impressive as it is, but really he's just doing a fantastic job opening up sightlines for Briven and really just allowing him to take out the tanks from the Hawks. We've just seen time and time again here Night Raven coming out and just getting almost insta-picked. So really, he's doing a great job just crowd controlling, actually just, keeping the Hawks team very separated and not letting them be all grouped together at all.
Yeah, and ults being popped out everywhere here. We hear the tank configuration coming out, but then the Transcendence in retort by Raptor there. Doesn't matter, though, because Fox Demon is going to be able to find OG Platypus. Sketch finding Ra, Fox Demon also finding Night Raven, so that's going to be one tank, one support, both of their heat, or both supports down, one DPS down for the Hawks here. Jackstar, a little bit out of position, not going to be able to regroup with the rest of his team as he does get picked off by Briven again. And
exactly.
we just need to see the Hawks regroup him.
Exactly, yeah, the Hawks, they have a lot of ults working there. They don't have any support ults, but they do definitely have that, Primal Rage and the Self-Destruct. Those are two very powerful ults. They can definitely, Self-Destruct especially, can definitely take Fox, Demon, and Piece of Time out of their little corner. But you just have to time this right, actually. And if they can do that and time in the Self-Destruct with a group push, I can see them pulling this back and possibly making it to the first point before the 30 seconds are out.
It's definitely a possibility in that, but with 30 seconds left on the clock, every single second that somebody gets picked off, like Jackstar falling there, that's going to cost them so much time. We hear the Dragon Blade coming out from Quippo mode there. He isn't going to be able to find Waterboy, though, because Waterboy just pops that Valkyrie, flies up into the air and says, no, I'm not getting hit by that sword. I'm going to heal the rest of my team as you try and push in. Briven's going to live. Night Raven's going to fall. OG Platypus is going to fall. And with 8 seconds left on the clock, they need to spot Quicko mode here. The bomb does come out, but the shield from Orisa is going to be able to just completely cancel out any attempt of the damage coming out. A little bit of movement coming in and coming into the overtime now. Going to be very, very important here for the Hawks to try and find something. But with Jackstar falling here, Platypus actually does manage to save him with that boop. Night Raven here up on the high ground trying to find Briven, but if he's not paying attention, they might actually C9 this by accident. Doing a good job at managing to stay on the point here. Quippo mode here, deflecting a bit of the damage. The dash coming out, just narrowly avoiding it. Getting fairly low as he does, in fact, fall. And that is going to be map 1 going towards the Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers there, they just were very much the better coordinated team right there. Their comp was very solid, Sketch right there, bringing out all the attention of the Hawks and just opening sightlines for Briven. Very nice play between the two characters. But also, we can't, discredit for Fox and Pizza Time, who were just also incredibly lethal combo. And Fox even, as we can see from the play of the game, really doing an absolute work with his tank configuration. And they were just very well organized. While we saw on the side of the Hawks that they weren't, as well organized. They weren't really pushing together. We saw Night Raven just kind of trickle in and just feed towards the Panthers and be constantly behind on the respawning. And while their ult economy, was kind of building up at the same time, they almost always had their ults at around the same time. They weren't really, and they were using them in tandem. Actually, they were using them in tandem. It wasn't exactly the most effective way to use each ults. I remember seeing that they had a Transcendence come out with the sound barrier, which is a bit redundant, honestly. So small things like that really did bring down the overall offenses of the Hawks. That and not being that together, which it was mostly, in my opinion, from Sketch, who was doing a great job crowd controlling, but also it seemed like the Hawks just weren't actually playing very cohesively, especially their tanks always seemed to be 2 steps behind their DPS.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, but we're going to be going on to Busan now. Game. It seems like one of the players needs to wait here. Someone's game actually crashed. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And but that doesn't matter. For next Busan, it's gonna be a control point map. So this is obviously going to be much more aggressive. on the side of both players, and both teams are going to have to be much more um, heavy on the offense because typically in these games it tends to go back and forth at that point.
Yeah, I mean that's how most control maps go. We're going to see a lot of fighting,
Exactly.
of course, on those center points as well. And with Basan, a lot of potential for snipers here. We might see Briven shining a little bit more, especially with those large open areas that we do specifically get on Busan. Could be seeing some more odd picks. We've seen Symmetra used to great effect on this map as well. So could be a couple odd things coming out. Could be a bit of a couple anomalies, but we will see what they end up playing. We might just see both teams go goats. Could happen.
Yeah,
A lot of
it's
situations
solid.
that could play out.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very interesting that you do have been picking the Symmetra. Honestly, or uh, the little sentry turrets have been quite useful, and also her photon barrier that just manages to kind of cut down on the sight lines and the openness of the map of these Busan maps is very nice. So yeah, I'm just very interested to see. Typically, we do see a lot of times that teams tend to stick with what they know and players. And honestly, I still feel like that. You know, aggressive Lucio pirate Bastion Orisa comp can work very well on Busan as well. There's a lot of nice places where if you can get a Bastion set up on point, it will do a lot of damage and really just lock down the point. So I still think that the Panthers would be very safe and could do well if they stick to their original strategy. Now the Hawks, that's something that they will have to try to find maybe a way to counter that. Dive would be very effective. Winston does a great job countering snipers. So that would be interesting to see from the Hawks.
I mean there's like we were saying, Busan's a good map for a lot of versatility. Um and we will be getting into this game very, very shortly, but I do believe we are going to need a slight pause just while one of the players gets over some technical difficulties, and we should be back with you very, very soon. And we're back coming into this game on Busan. Again, the match hadn't even started, so we've got 25 seconds left to even figure out what the teams are going to be playing. So are we going to see more Roadhog, do you think, Gorka?
Yeah, I feel like they definitely could be playing more Roadhog. I wouldn't be surprised if I Need Healing decides to choose him, because like the map is quite open, but there's like especially on this first point and the train station, there's a lot of ledges up here, and there's like a ledge all around the point. So having a Roadhog be able to take characters off the high ground and right into your face would be very nice. And actually, interesting enough, we see a big comp change here. Sketch is actually playing Roadhog, and I Need Healing is going to be playing Genji. Very interesting to see. And we also see Night Raven pulling out Roadhog on the Hawk side. This is very interesting. They've changed a lot about the composition. Waterboy is now playing Mercy, while he was playing Mercy before. And Fox Demon, instead of playing Bastion, he will be picking up Ana. So this is interesting. They won't be having any solid set of pieces. Orisa is going to be the only shield they have, while on the Hawks, they do have OG Platypus on Rhine. Not very sure what they do. They have the Quippa mode on McCree to deal with any longer range stuff, but I still feel like Brevin, who we saw a lot of nice headshots come out of, would probably be able to outsnipe and outdamage Quippo, in my opinion.
Well, we might be surprised here. Quippo might go Quippo mode, but Sketch here, not on the Lucio here, is going to be on that Roadhog, which is very, very interesting, deciding not to go for the boots this time around. And again, he's on the Roadhog this time, being able to find pick after pick here. Night Raven actually managing to find onto the pick onto Sketch, though, along with I Need Healing finding Ra here. That's going to be a lot of damage negated for the Hawks here. Not having that Junkrat's going to be very, very unfortunate, as they're not just going to be able to spam the bomb or spam the point with a bunch of area denial with Junkrat's grenades.
Yeah, and the first point will be going to, well, it went to the Hawks for 12 seconds, but now it's going over to the, Panthers. And I saw that very interesting. Sketch did go down quite early in that fight, but we saw that I Need Healing was just popping in, jumping in, getting that quick kill and jumping out. So he did a very nice job taking out the supports and also just doing some nice damage. We saw, Fox Demon with his bio grenade preventing any healing on OG Platypus as he was surrounded, and that really did do a nice job cleaning up the Hawks. And right now we see that the Panthers are going to be playing a very aggressive position here.
Yeah, a very aggressive position indeed, as Waterboy manages to res Riven there after Quipper mode, does manage to outsnipe him. So very, very interesting position in this situation here, as they're going to be they're going to have to try and force something out into their favor. They're going to have to find a pick. They're going to have to find absolutely anything in this situation.
Yeah. The ults are almost ready on the Hawk side, and although the Panthers also do have their Hawks as well, the whole Hawk was just used, and man, a lot of damage that going on onto their Hawk side.
Unfortunately here, they are just getting pushed into a corner, and one after another, the Hawks do fall to the Panthers. And again, meanwhile, whilst all of these fights are coming out, we do hear the Dragon Blade coming out from I Need Healing. A bit of a waste there, as I believe pretty much every single person was already down on the side of the Hawks. But as I was going to say, every single second that they're being held back, that point is ticking up.
Exactly, yeah, they're doing a very good job just being hyper-aggressive, almost, spawn camping. The Hawks trying to just wrap around and, get into the back line, but we see that everyone on the Panthers are responding quite accordingly.
Yeah, and the Dragons here coming out from Quippo mode might be able to let them contest it for a little bit longer, as he manages to find two there. Fox Demon and Waterboy both falling, giving them a chance to flip this point over here. Overtime here, Briven the only one left onto the point, as the Hawks find pick after pick, completely flipping this game around, and they do manage to capture the point.
Wow, that was incredibly awesome from the Hawks. They were able to just wrap around here, and I thought that Pizza Time on the point may have been able to set something up, but they just kind of pushed in a little too much and got taken out, and that, dual dragons from Quippo mode was absolutely crucial. Took out both supports of the Panthers and left them in a position where everybody was just completely spread out, and they were able to just push onto the point and do an amazing cap right there. Very well done by the Hawks.
Yeah, the bomb coming out from Ra there, managing to find Briven. The res is going to come out from Waterboy there, defended by I Need Healing, using the deflector there to block a lot of the damage coming out towards his friendly Waterboy Mercy, as that infrared vision there is going to come out from Briven, trying to find something here. The Dragon Blade being heard from I Need Healing, going to be damage boosted as well, as he jumps in onto the point there, managing to find Quippo, managing to find Ra, dashing about, making sure he gets constant healing. He does get nanoed there, as there's so much damage coming out. Anti-healing coming out as well after the nano and they are just being able to clean up this point. What an absolutely phenomenal Dragon Blade coming out from I Need Healing with Bribben cleaning that fight up.
Exactly. Yeah, that was really well done. They were very effective with their ults. They had I Need Healing just push in with the Dragon Blade. And while the Nano did come a little bit later and stayed over the Dragon Blade's limit, he was still able to make use of that extra damage and take out Platypus, doing immense damage and just completely crippling the defense of the Hawks there. While the Hawks had a very nice comeback halfway through that first round, the Panthers were able to just pick it back up and do a great job with their ults and push in and really just give out, just like kicking butt. But now we're over here in the Hangar Bay, and very interesting map with walls that go up and down over the course of the map. No real comp changes here, so we'll see how well this goes for each respective team.
Yeah, and we should be seeing some interesting comps here. Bribben Sketch on the Widowmaker now, and Bribben on Doomfist.
That's a bit bizarre. They only have one tank with Pizza Time on Orisa, and Brevin, not really. I mean, he wasn't really showing any previous, aggressive playstyles. Just Widow standing back. Sketch was actually more of the aggressive one. So, bit of a weird, role change, but seems to be working. They already are on the point and have more control than the Hawks.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to capture the point pretty much immediately here. So, very, very interesting situation because, again, there wasn't much of a contest coming out from the Hawks, right? They were able to just walk in and contest it, or pretty much just take it without being contested here. Bribben already having the Meteor Strike as well, so if we actually look at the ult economy, the Blade comes out pretty much very quickly as well, along with the Infrared. They've got so much ult building up so quickly.
Exactly, they're able to just get a damage out there and really just get those picks, which bring up their ult, and you already see, Infrared and Dragon Blade coming out on the side of Panthers, while the Hawks are about 81% on their Sound Barrier, and that's about it. Oh, and 95% on, on Moira. So, the Panthers are in much better position right now.
Yeah, no, they're definitely in a good position, as they're already halfway to capturing this point with 0% on their opposition in this situation. That's looking very, very good with them as well, with the Dragon Blade from I Need Healing and Infra Sight coming out from Sketch. Is also a possibility here to get all of the information that they need, as Night Raven does fall as well. They're just finding pick after pick, unfortunately, for the Hawks. Night Raven jumped in there by himself, and now he's forcing the rest of his team to wait.
Yeah, they're just doing a very nice stagger on the tanks for the Hawks, and right now you see the Infrared coming out on the side of the Panthers, and also Dragon Blade.
Yeah, the Dragon Blade coming out here. The Dash actually finding 3 people as I Need Healing that cleans it up with Raptor. I clearly was looking at the wrong thing at the wrong time there, because that dash, was that one dash?
That was 3. It got sorry. It got like a lot of people. It got 3 people, got both supports, and I believe Cripple Mode as well was taken out by that. That was incredible on the side of Panthers, and I Need Healing just going ham right there. The Panthers pushing up and just making sure you're being hyper aggressive.
And nobody's paying attention to the point, as 3 of the Hawks managed to sneak up onto it and flip it whilst in overtime. The Dragon coming out, Bribben there, managing to find Quipper Mode. They're all going to converge onto the point now, trying to clear it up. Ra, going to be put very low onto HP here, is going to be able to make it away and find Bribben as well, as the Sound Barrier comes out from Raptor. Is going to give them a good fighting chance of all of that extra health. The Riptire coming out actually gets sniped by Sketch. So Sketch managed to find Ra and Raptor along with the Riptire before he could click it.
Dang, wow, really nice timing on Sketch, let me tell you that. Jeez, oh man, they cleaned up beautiful back cap from the Hawks, but let's see if we can actually keep it together.
Blade coming out along with the Nano Boost here. They haven't been able to flip it out because the Hawks have just been able to contest it for every little piece that they can. It just keeps coming back, finally flipping over here, and it looks like they are going to be able to clear the point. But what a phenomenal play by Sketch at the end there.
Yeah, that was...
Killing Junkrat, hitting the Riptire, and finding Lucio in like the span of like 3 shots. I think that was a triple headshot.
That was insane. Yeah, honestly, I Need Healing was a very precarious situation, because if the Junkrat tire was able to come out and clean up those 2, both I Need Healing and the Mercy, who was a Water Boy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a triple dash. Jesus Christ, incredible. If I Need Healing was about to be taken out, and Sketch is going ham and taking it out the moment the Reptile came out, impressive stuff from Sketch and impressive stuff from the whole team of the Panthers. Very well done. Nice. It was interesting. Both the Hawks in both rounds were able to have almost a mid-round comeback, but not quite. Still being taken down by the Panthers. And yeah, it was very nicely done. The Panthers playing very well. It's obviously with those little slip-ups they were. It was both of the times they were playing too aggressively. That's one thing. The back cap on the second round was enabled because Panthers were just able to just push in and were just trying to spawn camp without realizing that 3 players of the Hawks were already on their way. And even on the train station, the Hawks were able to just wrap around and only pizza time was left on the point. So both times that the Hawks were able to get a point was because of some negligence on the side of the Panthers, but they were still able to come back and pull back. So some small little things that they could work on right there. But aside from that, they were actually playing very well. Next map here is actually going to be Volskaya Industries. Cool snowy assault map.
Traveling to Volskaya.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very chilly day today in Volskaya Industries. And again, the compositions here could be very, very interesting. Ra may stick onto that Junkrat. Very, very good for this first point, and arguably very good for the second point. Riptire, a lot of angles Riptire can take, a lot of places it can sneak around and just manage to grab people from. So definitely a viable pick there. Could see Doomfist again. We did see Briven absolutely going off on that Doomfist with Sketch on the Widowmaker, which just goes to show the Panthers don't have one Widowmaker player, or hit scan player, I should say. They have 2 very, very confident players.
Yeah, with that kind of DPS, you're confident that everything will go pretty well, and it seems, and they're definitely playing like that. They're being aggressive, and they know that they can bring out the damage to play these aggressive strats. Obviously, a bit of negligence on the point has shown up from time to time. But honestly, I would like, as I was about to mention, and we see it here now, they're actually reverting to a very similar strategy they had in the first map on Junkertown, which is, well known because Volskaya has a lot of nook and crannies, and playing defense with a Bastion there's just so many possibilities. For this map is just a playground for Bastion, and there's so many cool little spots that you can play and hide in. You can play, on the initial, but just around the corner of the first building that the offensive team come out of. You can position a Bastion right where I Need Healing is put in a trap. Then you can have it push back to the overpass and then push him back into the little hut. A lot of possibilities for Bastion on this map, so no surprise that Fox team is going back to that pick. And yeah, the only difference between this comp and the first comp in the first game was actually that I Need Healing was on Roadhog. Now he switched over to Junkrat to really take full control and full advantage of those angles. But yeah, as we see the first fight coming out, we'll see if Sketch goes and reverts to playing his very aggressive Lucio style.
Yeah, and Briven there managing to get that first blood onto Jackstar. So already starting off showing that sniping, the damage boost, of course, by Waterboy. Very, very useful here. I Need Healing finding Rapture as well. So that's going to be both supports going down for the Hawks. So they need to just back up and regroup at the moment.
Exactly, yeah, those 2 supports when you're down with them, and also Quippo mode, just, the Hawks getting staggered here with these first picks. That's just, you got to push back. You can't exactly push in through. And the Panthers, they see that, and they're pushing in themselves, actually, play even more aggressively and taking advantage of the very capable DPS they have on their team.
Yeah, 100% here, as they are being forced into the point. Now, what people seem to forget a lot of times in Volskaya is there is actually a third exit they can take to the right of the map and then flank, like hook all the way around through the building, which would actually put them in a great position against the Panthers currently. But they are going to just decide to push straight out forward from the front door. Nobody realizes the Sketch, though, is right above them here as he does start opening fire, managing to get a little bit of damage in. Not enough to actually do much. Oddly enough there, that was very peculiar. I don't know if Kupomo just happened to die as soon as he was about to hit Fox Demon, which I believe is what happened, but it looked like he got stunned mid-charge.
Yeah, exactly. I believe that may have been the... No, a shield doesn't stun you. I'm not sure where exactly that came from. But yeah, you're right. Fox Demon was able to just plow through 3 of the players and really just take down the Hawk players who kind of just walked in, lined up one after one. They weren't really playing behind Corpomo's shield. He was charging into battle, which got him picked first. So, a bit of what I believe was a miscommunication on the Hawk side. It'll be interesting to see if they can pull back from that. But as we were just seeing now, Fox was trying to push in and get a bit more of an unconventional angle with Bastion, which is very possible on this map. And a lot of opportunities here, but he's still reverting back to the more traditional underpass car position.
Yeah, 100% here as we hear the Riptire coming out from I Need Healing there. And like I was saying, it's got a lot of very strange and bizarre angles it can decide to take. And it decides to just jump straight into that building, looking for a target there and forcing the Transcendence out of Raptor here. So very, very, very good position to be in if you are the Panthers right now, right? Forcing that Transcendence out before the fight. You have plenty of ultimates coming out. Fox Demon is going to be able to tank and not need to worry about Transcendence, but right now he is just putting in so much work. Those shields are getting busted and people are getting melted. Exactly,
yeah. Forcing that ult from Raptor was incredibly useful right there. You could see that with that ult and OG Platypus's also was also building up a bit. They were that the Hawks were definitely planning to have a push there, but forcing the ult out of Raptor really, just completely shut down that entire push and forced the Hawks to stay in the early area, in the front area, in these first 30 seconds.
Yeah, and this is going to be what they need to try and do here. They're going to have to try and push through this. Quipper mode does fall to I Need Healing, so that's going to be no Reinhardt into this next fight here. And Fox Demon is actually amidst the enemy team. Not really too worried as he is receiving a bunch of healing coming out from that Valkyrie. And of course, the self-sustain that Bastion has overall anyway. Going to be able to clear up a lot of it here. And with 5 seconds left on the clock, we are going to see Jack. So, yeah, he is going to be able to just chill on the point. Nobody really noticed it. Forcing it into overtime here, but the rest of the Panthers are just going to run back and manage to clear that off and manage to just completely run them down. They didn't even get a check on
I was waiting for the... Oh, wow. Sick little 3K Riptire at the very end of the game there. Yeah, I was waiting for that moment when the Hawks would finally decide to send somebody out to back cap, because that's been basically their go-to last-minute strategy for every single point. And yeah, that right there really was a showcase of how effective Bastion is on this map, and Bastion and Junkrat as well, with all these little off angles and very close quarters combat. Both characters are able to just tear through the enemy quite effectively, and that paired with an Orisa shield and just good group coordination just really lended the Panthers to have a very strong comp right there. As for the Hawks, I really saw that they were not very much. Wasn't like they weren't able to organize themselves up. They were pushing in, but they kind of didn't really have the shield. Their tanks weren't exactly protected very well, and they were really just falling prey to a lot of the damage that the Panthers DPS were throwing out. But now that we see that Panthers on offense, we see that very similar strategy come out. Actually, almost similar. Yeah, Brevin's actually on Reinhardt, and Sketch is actually playing Symmetra. And we also see that OG Platypus on the Hawks are also playing Symmetra. So that's a interesting, ditto Symmetra play right there. And Jackstar possibly coming out to counter Fox Demon's Bastion with a Bastion of his own. So it seems like the Hawks might be trying to emulate that very effective Bastion play style that the Panthers were pulling off here. Let's see if they will be able to manage it and be able to be as aggressive as the Panthers were in the previous round.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what we do want to be seeing here, but this could be a very, very quick round. Jackstar sitting on top of that truck, just raining down the bullets like we were seeing pretty much from Fox Demon, doing exactly the same round, slightly different positioning choice, but possibly a little bit better. But if they're paying attention right now, they should have realized that, yeah, they do realize that the Panthers were nowhere to be seen, flanking around, making great use of that Symmetra turret, like I said, we could be seeing coming out from her. And they're doing a really good job defending it so far.
Exactly, yeah, you could tell that they read that the Panthers were actually pulling off a flank. They only saw, it was quite suspicious when you only have Brevin, their single Reinhardt, just pushing up and being the only aggression you see at the main side. So it was obvious that Hawks, you can't fool them with their own strategy. They knew that the Panthers were up to some sort of back cap, and they read it perfectly and were able to set up just in the nick of time and completely shut down that aggression. Though honestly, right there, that has left the main entrance quite open, and the Panthers are pushing in very aggressively.
Yeah, Braven now back on Widowmaker putting in, I mean, I say back on Widowmaker, it's been on Widowmaker for a while, but managing to find pick after pick here. Briven again finding OG Platypus, finding Night Raven. The Coalescence putting in a lot of work here as they are just going to be able to sit on this point and capture it. And that is going to be Volskaya Industries going towards the Panthers, making it 3-0 so far. But of course, this is the Overwatch League setting that we're doing. So although the game is set and matched to the Panthers, we will be playing that fourth map for the scoreline.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw there that while the Hawks were able to really react very nicely to that flank and just react incredibly fast and completely shut it down, they weren't able to recover and go back to their initial setup as effectively as they were able to react to the flank. So the Panthers were able to capitalize on that and just kind of push their players through the main point, which was really close to the spawn point, so it wasn't that slow of a rotate. But yeah, very well played by the Panthers and the Hawks. You know, they had a good shot. They were quite they were showing that they were on their feet during that second round. But alas, scoreline's 3-0, and next game's really only counting for the league points.
Yes, which are equally as important. Of course, we do want to be seeing the Hawks managing to find a map out of this, right? Because even though they are 3-0 at the moment, if they can find one map, it's still going to help them in those standings, which are oh so important when you're playing in any sort of tournament environment.
Yeah, exactly. They are sitting at 3, and the next team below them is Rebel Esports with 0 points. So they do just have to make sure that Rebel doesn't get a single map or something like that and get some points that could possibly push them over to that 4. If the Hawks can just stay at a 4 score line, they'll be fine. But yeah, now we've seen them coming out. The next map will be Numbani, the Assault Escort, and this will be interesting. Honestly, I feel like the strategy that the Panthers were playing beforehand was going to be very effective, and there's still a lot of long sight ranges, so Brevin can still stick on his Widowmaker or Sketch, as we've seen here. He can also play Widowmaker as well. So if the Panthers decide to play Widowmaker, that player will definitely have a lot of playing open space to play around. What I'm more interested to see is what the Hawks will be able to do on this map. There's since of the long sight lines, it is kind of a bit tricky to push on, especially since the point is so open and there's so many platforms around the point that the defensive team can have. It's going to be very interesting to see where each team will be able to just form. But we do see that Panthers are on offense in the beginning, so we'll see how well that the Hawks can have their hand playing defense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
yeah, exactly.
definitely.
And
we're seeing OG Platypus with the Symmetra as well onto defense here. So they're going to have the versatility of dropping onto the point when they need to and then very quickly positioning themselves back up with the teleporters. They could go from one high ground to another. They have got sight lines for days in a lot of these teleporting situations. But with Briven now on the Winston, and they are, Briven's just going to be on the Winston here with Sketch and Fox Demon on DPS.
Yeah, they could definitely, especially against OG Platypus's sentries, Winston can just, kind of auto locks on them and do a lot of damage to them right there directly. And he can also charge right into any defensive and disrupt any defense that the Hawks will be playing. And we see that it might quite possibly happen right now.
Yeah, that's definitely possibly here, as they do distract everybody else for for Sketch to be able to position himself onto that Widowmaker, managing to find Raptor there, Fox Demon finding Night Raven, so there's not going to be a Reinhardt in this situation here, and there's going to be a lot of back and forth coming out from here. Well, I was saying that, but actually, Ra doesn't even get to defense Matrix Fox Demon, as they just push into this point with an absolute force.
Yeah, exactly. It was very nicely played there. They had Brevin on Winston so he could just jump in and just disrupt whatever defense that the Hawks have, which, as you saw, was just all huddled in one corner at the left-hand doorway of the stairway that comes up. So right there, the Hawks put all their eggs in one basket and played there, and Brevin was able to just disrupt that completely and do just allow for Pizza Time and Fox Team to set up on point.
Let me get you patched up.
Yeah,
So yeah,
And
we see.
they definitely going to be able to clear through this in a lot of situation in this position as well. Brivin going absolutely bananas on Monkey, of course, does have that Primal Rage in preparation as well, along with a Transcendence, a Valkyrie, and of course that infamous Infrasight coming out from Sketch, which is going to be used here, giving his team just a lot of information. They're going to be able to hopefully find a pick very, very early onto this fight here, but Sketch actually gets very, very low as a bit of a counter snipe came out from Raptor's Zenyatta orbs there with the right click here. Brivin jumping into the backline, putting in a lot of damage to Discord up onto Jack here. The Primal Rage being popped, going to be knocking them around as we hear an ult coming out from Symmetra, but I don't think that's going to be very beneficial in this situation. The bomb not connecting with anybody, unfortunately, as I Need Healing just rushes in one-to-one with a Diva here. Of course, Brivin just pushing a little bit further forward here, not going to be able to use the doorway for cover, but is going to be able to get a lot of damage, or sorry, Sketch is going to be able to get a lot of damage coming out here. Raptor does fall, so Transcendence is no longer a concern. He didn't exactly have it building up very, very close to it. He will have it after one more hit, but immediately falls after being rezzed again. And the Panthers are just being able to find pick after pick as they're just going to force forward this payload here. We're going to see Symmetra trying to do something. OG Platypus just hoping that he can help his team in any situation here, but the tank configuration is going to come out. That's not going to be able to stop Raptor, unfortunately, for the Panthers, because obviously Raptor's going to be in that Transcendence, going to be invulnerable, not going to be able to do any damage as they counter Transcendence comes out, but unfortunately nobody's actually going to be able to get on to the point from the Hawks, and that is going to be a very quick round.
Yeah, round one's already complete. We saw that the main difference between the Hawks right there and the Panthers were that it wasn't so much that the Panthers had access to more ults, although they did have, I think, about 2 more ready. It was just that the Hawks were just way too quick on the gun on theirs. Like you saw that, I believe it was Rar who was playing on Diva. He kind of just threw out his self-destruct when there was no one really, to take out. We saw that Waterboy was playing Mercy, but he already had like another teammate in the room and was able to just fly over there. So that didn't really help out very much. And also we saw that the OG Platypus's just giant Symmetra wall was kind of just used to no effect, while Brevin was just primal raging right on top of his team. So we saw that a lot of the ults from the Panthers were used at more ideal times and were much more effective at what they had to do. Brevin, breaking up the defense of the Hawks, and the Transcendence coming out to help out at the very end. Just very good ults there on the side of the Panthers, while the Hawks were kind of being very quick on the gun and just not as effective with them here. Though, once again, new round, another fresh start. We see that Night Raven's playing Ashe here, so this could be trying to take use of a lot of the sight lines. And Quipamo is playing Tracer, so they can definitely use him to just run around and try to disrupt any backline stuff. Probably deal with Fox Demon, who is now set up in the back corner of the point along with Sketch. So, yeah, this will be very interesting. We'll see how well this can go for both teams. Yeah, I Need Healing also playing on Hanzo, so we'll definitely be doing a bit of scouting with the Sonic era there, trying to see where the Hawks are going to be going.
Yeah, and of course the Hawks are going to have to push it all the way to the end of the map here. So they are going to have to get more than one tick in this situation. And honestly, I have faith in them. I think they're going to be able to capture this first point. They just need to get one good team fight in a lot of these situations. And unfortunately, so far here, Jackstar is going to get forced out by Brivin being healed constantly by Waterboy as well. Waterboy getting a little bit low as Night Raven is sneaking up. Oh, sorry, I say Night Raven. Sorry, that was Quippo mode actually being chased by I Need Healing in the background.
Exactly, yeah, that was quite rough. We see that the Panthers are doing a great job with their ults, just pushing the Hawks back, and yeah, that just completely just obliterated the Hawks' offensive. We see that Brevin, Waterboy, and I Need Healing are just playing very aggressively up in front, and Sketches right there with his Widow just aiming down sight. And even if any flankers come around to go jump onto the point and back cap, which is a strat that we've seen the Hawks do time and time again, we still have Fox Demon and Pizza Time set back here with full view of the entire point, so it's going to be very difficult. Though we do see the Hammond coming out from Rar, so this could be an interesting play if they manage to just dive in and use it to just charge.
Well, they are aware now that they do have a Hammond, as the Sonic Arrow from I Need Healing does spot him inside that room. So a lot of Bastion, of course, on Fox Demon is going to be focused down onto that. The Hulk coming out, unfortunately, not going to be able to find anybody. So it's not Pizza Time's time to shine just quite yet, as Valkyrie does get popped onto Briven, making sure he can get alive, getting into that backline there. He does chase after Lucio, trying to push back in. But of course, you do see Ra forcing himself back in with his team, making sure his supports don't get picked off too quickly, as Quippo mode is trying to push aggressively as well. But Fox Demon being up on that high ground makes it very, very hard for the Tracer to find pretty much anything. The hammer down, coming down, hits Briven, but Briven's going to get a stand right back up, use that Primal Rage, heal back to full health, and is just going to be jumping about, knocking them around, making sure that they can't find anything beneficial. As the pin comes out from Jackstar, does find Fox Demon with sketch falling as well. They're going to have to retort in some way here. Jackstar actually doing a good job, but unfortunately there was no follow-up from the rest of his team because they'd just been picked off by Sketch.
Yeah, that was very difficult for the Hawks to really pull back from. They had Brevin and Waterboy up in front, playing very aggressively, and as they were pushing in, they kind of got pincered between Winston and a hard place. So it was very hard to make any push happen. It's very impressive that Jackstar was actually able to get the pick on Fox Demon, but with both Pizza Time and I Need Healing right behind them just doing damage, there wasn't much you could really do, or you couldn't really capitalize on that. So it was a good attempt from the Hawks, but it was a very tough position to get out of.
Yeah, the Tracer Bomb there does connect with Fox Demon, but of course, healing yourself as Bastion does incur a damage reduction, so managing just to out-heal the bomb.
Exactly, yeah. We see Rar here playing Sombra, actually, possibly getting a chance to just open up any the defense of the Panthers. But, I mean, without an ult, it would be kind of tricky since hacking only one, either Pizza Time or Fox even leaves the other one still capable of killing him. So,
yeah, that's definitely a possibility. A big EMP here could absolutely change the course of this fight. The Transcendence coming out from OG Platypus here, but none of his team actually went down below with them and just got picked up by Fox Demon. So a bit of a communication error coming out from the Hawks there, as they are going to fall one by one. Raptor being, well, Raptor and Ra being the last two on point, but Ra being stealthed isn't actually contesting the point. Sitting on does reveal themselves last second. They're resetting the overtime, buying as much time as they possibly can. Translocator coming out, pushing away here as Jackstar rolls in with the Hammond. And if they can't get back in time, which they're not going to be able to, that's going to be game 4 going towards the Powell Panthers.
Yeah, once again, we see that the ult economy and ult usage really defined a lot of the match there. Panthers just being so effective with every single one of their ults, and the Hawks really kind of just wasting a lot of them, just being too quick on the gun, not having the communication to actually capitalize on the ults, on the support ults. We saw that at the very end there, Raptor kind of just jumped on point all alone with Transcendence, while the rest of his team was trying to get back up or were staggered. So very tough game for their Hawks. But in the end, Panthers, they were the better team. They had the greater strategy, and they were doing very well, and they take the win.
Yeah, and they did take the win absolutely there. And of course, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to the East region of Season 3 of EGFH with, of course, the Powell Panthers taking the victory. You can follow us at Official EGF on Twitter and Twitch for updates and announcements. And of course, I'd like to thank our wonderful sponsors, the Yukon Gaming Club, the Yukon School of Engineering, Mob Crush, and once again, our brand new wonderful sponsor, Playmakers Wanted, for helping make this season possible. My name has been Kevin Navik Dignan, and you can find me on Twitter at NavikCasts.
And I'm Gorka, and you can find me at Gorka_man on Twitter. Thank you so much for joining us this wonderful day, and we'll hope to see you later this evening at 7:30 for the Alaska cast.